Spellbound is a fairy tale inspired actual play D&D podcast. It follows the adventures of Princess Theia, the human sorceress, played by Lydia.r.miller.
Also, if I forget that I'm a human and I burp, let me know.
Delaelia, the elven ranger, played by Kelsea Botwinick-Caruza.
Get back! Go on!
Felix, the gnome fighter, played by Rebecca Munoz.
He is charisma, wrapped in enigma, wrapped in stripes and a feather.
And me, your DM, Emma Carter. Hello, hello. Happy Mother's Day, or almost Mother's Day, depending on when you're listening to this. A big shout out to all the moms, the new moms, the soon-to-be moms, the grandmoms and the god moms, the moms that we've found and the moms that we've lost. You are loved. This episode isn't exactly mom-centered, I just wanted to say that. This episode starts with a pre-game discussion with the Spellcast, where we talk about inclusion, creating safe spaces, how we prefer our fantasy without sexual assault scenarios, and realizing we're almost an entirely queer identifying group. If you'd like to hear that, keep listening. If you preferred to just jump right into the action, fast forward to 11 minutes in. When we last left our heroes, Princess Theia and Delaelia escaped from their respective prisons and met with Felix in the palace's main entry hall. King Ferdinand of Highgarde arrived just in time to declare that Theia would be marrying Prince Leonardo of Luminary, a neighboring kingdom. Theia put her foot down, shot off some magic sparks, and the team fled from the village, only to run right into a fight between Prince Dashing and two jackalweres. Will they be able to defeat their furry foes this time? Let's find out. I will see you in the story.
There was something I was thinking about that I wanted to kind of go over with you guys. I know that, so while we were in Highgarde, I know we encountered some sexism from like the guards and how they treated Delaelia, or like how Princess Theia is treated. And I think because of like the content that I liked to consume growing up, I'm very much into stories of like women combating sexism and coming out on top. But I did want to like open this up and talk about a lot of okay, so I made a video this week for Space Mob, and it was called D&D is for Women Too. And I did a lot of research for it because I was trying to like dig back into like, okay, so like what was it like back in the day, and what I learned through my research, and Kelsea, you probably already know this because you've been playing longer than I have, but that 5e, when D&D 5e came out, it was there were changes made to the game very intentionally to promote more, I don't want to say to promote diversity, but really to like promote creating worlds in which homophobia doesn't have to exist, or in which sexism doesn't have to exist, in which there can be queer characters and there can be characters of all ethnicities, even within like the mystical races. And so what I wanted to kind of talk about, what I was thinking for Spellbound, but I want your feedback, is what I've kind of tried to create is more of a tension between magic and non-magic, and less of a tension. Like, I don't want any of our characters to have to like combat homophobia. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, I just want them to be able to be themselves, and that's not an issue. Magic and non-magic is the kind of the issue here. I don't want to put racism into the world. That's why I was trying to lean more into like, it's not about like she's an elf, it's about she's from the forest.
She has magic. Yeah.
And she has magic.
Yeah.
So it's like she's a magic person from a different place, but it's not that she's an elf. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
No,
so
for sure.
So our characters can live in a world where they don't have to worry about persecution for their race or for their sexuality. There's like a little bit of misogyny, but not everywhere in the world. So yeah, just wanted to.
I mean, we got Sabine, so
right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I like that, and I like the idea too that way it can be a really clean metaphor. Just like X-Men, I feel like is a really clean metaphor for it was race. and now it's a really clean metaphor for like sexuality, and everybody, it's been so easy to get past from there to there, and it makes it more timeless and less just like battling this one specific thing, which is nice.
Any other thoughts? Thank you for sharing, Kelsey. Green cards, red cards.
No, yeah, I have no cards. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I
actually do have mine.
yeah, I had them somewhere.
Aw.
That pleases me deeply.
I put them in the front of my book too, so they'd be available.
Oh,
but I one of my other groups that I'm in, the DM mentioned very offhand, and he used to play 4 and then a couple other versions, but he's always a DM, and so he's played with a lot of different groups. And he'll never listen to this because he doesn't support or love me, but just I'm hoping he does, just so he can be mad at that. But yeah, he has mentioned that it's sort of used to be a thing where people could get in there and be the kind of asshole that they couldn't be in real life. And here it's people, like now it's people just getting to play and let loose in a way that they're not able to, instead of it be a worse version of myself, which is I like that.
Like Westworld.
Yeah. Not Westworld. We don't want
just like
Westworld here.
D&D used to be Westworld. It was just like a cisgender white male paradise. Not
It's terrible.
Not a lot of room for other people.
And also just like people saying that they had been in campaigns before where the DM had their character get sexually assaulted.
What?
Yeah. I've heard horror stories about stuff like that before. It's terrifying sometimes. Some of these DMs either have no backbone and they don't hold back their players from doing disgusting things, or the DM is right along with them, and it's just, I've heard so many disturbing stories. It's just and
we don't want that here. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised to hear about that, but when I was reading all these different people saying that had happened to them, I was like, who wants to act that out?
What box is that checking? Yeah,
right.
I mean,
well, I'm glad that you've made this such a safe place. Like from square one, you were very much encouraging this to be a conversation about like what we feel comfortable with and stuff, and it hasn't come up, but I am glad that it is able to if it needs to.
And I do want you to feel safe, because part of what I love about listening to D&D podcasts is just how, like with the Adventure Zone, how inclusive D&D can be. And there's so many other podcasts out there where like everyone who's playing is in the queer community, or everyone is playing as a woman, or they have like just like tons of characters of different like binary, non-binary, just like it can be such an inclusive place. And I love that about it. It's like the antidote. It's like the antidote to the, and I like Game of Thrones, but it's like the antidote to that kind of like, well, here are all these prostitutes that are going to be naked in all these scenes because historically there would have been naked prostitutes, and it's like, this is fantasy.
Yeah, and in order to be a woman
prostitutes
who stands in her power, you have to undergo horrific assault situation.
So many of the main female characters in Game of Thrones were sexually assaulted to become
literally all of them.
Dany, Sansa, to become powerful, they had to be like horribly tortured. And so it's like
they have to be broken down first and then like be reborn from the ashes.
Yes.
Like,
and then they have to have that written into their script.
That needs to go. Yeah. Yep. I also love that this is, and it didn't really occur to me until just now, but that this is such like, are we an overly diverse group? No, but like that we are a very queer group, and I think
I was gonna
say, really awesome and really special.
Aren't we pretty much, are most of us queer?
Yeah, I'm not gonna out anybody, but I know I am.
Well, myself, I'm queer.
So that's awesome.
Bye. So
And I didn't even like think of that. Like, I don't want you guys to think that I was like, I'm gonna try to assemble all these. Like, I was more like, who do I want to play with? But then when we started, I was like,
but you just like a lot of really queer people. So.
I love the Adventure Zone, but it is, it's three white brothers, and they're white, and they're dead, and they're awesome, and they're wonderful, and they are the first to acknowledge, like, we're a bunch of white dudes, so we're gonna try to.
And they are.
They are.
And trying to pretend that they're not, to them, would be disingenuous, and just like inviting someone of color that has a different background to the party just for that reason would be disingenuous. You know what I mean? So I appreciate the way they're doing it, but they've definitely gotten a lot of flack for that, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And so I do love that in Travis's campaign, like you can tell he was so very clearly trying to be like make sure that this world had people of all different ethnicities and abilities, and like all like one of the characters has a magical wheelchair basically. Like in the very first episode, he introduces a character who has a chair that is magically enchanted to float, and it has lights on it. And like when I went to see the Adventures on Live in Chicago, I saw someone in a wheelchair who was cosplaying that character, and I was like, this is so cool. This episode has literally only been out for like a week or two, and there's already someone who's like, I can cosplay this character. Like this character was for me. You know what I mean? Like I can cosplay any character, but not anybody can cosplay that character. That character is for me. So it just made me really happy. Let's start by rolling initiative. Okay, so Delaelia got a 15. Let's see. So, oh wow, Princess Theia and Delaelia. So we've got a 15. I'm gonna honor the first one, and I'm gonna put Felix at 6, and then Princess Theia got a 16. Let me roll for some of my people. All right, my friends.
Dude, and these things are really hard to beat too. Didn't it like take 1.5 million years last time, and now there's 2 of them?
Piercing or slashing damage. Yeah.
It's susceptible to silver if anyone has silver.
Nope, my necklace is made of gold.
All right, so the official turn order is Dashing, Princess Theia, Delaelia, the Beasts, and Felix. So as you 3 rush out the walls, what you see in front of you is this. There are 5 bodies laying on the ground, not moving, and Dashing is standing in front of 2 beasts, jackalweres, as Delaelia would know. They have both fixed their gaze on the prince, who holds his long sword, and he is going to try to attack the one to his right. So I'm going to go ahead and roll for him. Ooh, Dash, he rolled a 3. And even with his attack bonus, that is not going to help him any. So Dashing takes a swing at this beast over here to the right, the jackalwere to his right. You hear Dashing give out a cry of "Hah!" as he swings his sword at the jackalwere, but he misses the jackalwere, and now he is just a little bit closer to the one that he just swung at. Princess Theia, you are next in the turn order. What do you do?
Oh God. I mean, I don't know. I want to help, but I don't know if I know how to do anything. I mean, I made sparks before. That's not a whole lot of help.
So, do you want to try casting a spell? You don't have to. Again, you don't have to. She does. She tried sparks. She can try something else if she wants to. What do you think she would do in this moment? What do you think Theia would do?
I mean, I want to get those things away from him. I mean, I haven't practiced anything, so I don't know if that's I was able to do cantrips, but that's kind of it.
Mechanically, what I would do if you made an attack magically is I would just have you roll a d20, and if you roll a 1 after that, I can give you a wild surge. But you can try to make spells. Narratively, Theia seems to be kind of coming into her own right now as she's starting to embrace her magic ability. So you can weave me a web of like what you think mentally gets her there, or what causes her to dig deep for that power. And I'll just remind everyone, in any situation, you can always roll perception checks, you can roll investigation checks, nature checks. Just because we're in combat doesn't mean that you can't, use your checks to try and gain more information, or, if you think your character would try to make a distraction instead of fight, or if you think your character would try to help someone else, that's a feature too, is like being able to lend someone aid and then they get advantage on their rolls. So just know that it doesn't just have to be Lydia attacks and then Rebecca attacks and then Kelsea attacks. Like there can be some teamwork elements too, and you're allowed to think outside the box.
I'm gonna try and check in with what I was feeling earlier when I made those sparky things, which I probably don't know what those are yet. I'm gonna cast Magic Missile, but like I guess in my brain what I'm thinking about is I want to push that thing away from my bro.
You create 3 glowing darts of magic. So each dart hits a creature of your choice that you can see within range. A dart deals 1d4 plus 1 force damage to its target. The darts all strike simultaneously, and you can direct them to hit one creature or several. So she rolls 3 times, 1 for each dart. So roll 2 more for me, Theia, and we'll see if
oh no, God. All right. Okay.
Yay.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna direct that big one at the dude, the jackalwere that is close to dashing, and then the other 2. I mean, would it be better to direct them all at one, or should I split them up?
It's up to you. Okay, yeah, you're close enough.
But you have to decide it before you roll in the future.
Oh, that's
thank
a
you.
good point. Thank you, Kelsea.
Okay, well then, I guess I'll just, since I didn't decide, I guess I'll just say that I'm directing them at bad jackalwere dude that is closest to my brother.
So you got a 2, 2, and a 5 because I forgot to put the +1 in your little spell. So we've got 2, 2, that's 4, and then a 5, so that's 9 points of damage to the jackalwere by dashing. Let me see here. I'm going to add that. So 9 points to the jackalwere by dashing. So Theia, you see your brother in danger, and you start to feel that source inside, and in the heat of the moment, you know you just want to get him away from your brother, and you tap into that source, and a sudden burst of energy. I imagine Theia like puts out her hand, and suddenly 3 bursts of energy just go shooting towards the beast by dashing, and it is both knocked back, because I think it would be. I'm going to knock it back a little bit. It is knocked back a little bit away from him, and it takes 9 points of damage, and the beast howls, and it turns its head towards you. That was kind of like an attack of opportunity because the beast hadn't seen you guys yet.
Oh shit!
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's true.
So you
Well,
caught
he sees
him
us
off
now.
guard. You caught him off guard, and so he looks at you. That was your turn, Theia. All right. The next is going to be Delaelia.
All right, so I am going to get my rope out because I have an adventurous pack, and I'm going to run up to that jackalwere, and I'm going to.
Oh, here we go again.
No, wait. Before I do that, I'm going to light a torch,
Okay.
and I'm going to run up to it. Okay, so free action, light torch.
Okay.
Action, dash, 40 feet. I don't want to be like up its neck or anything,
Okay.
but like dash, because I'm giving it an opportunity by being close to it. But yeah, dashing up to it, and then I want to yell at it, "Back, beasts! Get back!" and be as intimidating as possible is my goal. So should I roll for intimidation?
Yeah, roll for intimidation. I like that.
Hey.
Hey.
Not bad.
What did you
Not
roll,
too shabby.
Kelsea?
It's an 18. Thanks, Emma.
No, you're good. You're good.
Mhm.
So it's an 18. Yeah, I think that's pretty. And did you have anything? Oh wait, no, it automatically adds that for you. That's right. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
It was a 17 plus 1. But yeah, my intention was to get the thing to back off a little bit more so that dashing has a chance.
Awesome.
Thanks.
So
That's my bro.
Delaelia. So
I'm a good
Delaelia.
person.
Delaelia is a good person. So the jackalwere that was just hit by the magic missiles, it sees you running towards it now because it looked over in your direction, and you've got your fire and you're yelling for it to get back. And it is intimidated by you, and it retreats a little bit closer towards its companion, because it doesn't want to get hit again by the people that just hit it.
Oh.
Mhm.
Wait,
Are
so
you
the-
feeling sorry for the jackalwere, Becca?
I did for a second. I'm sorry.
is trying to kill my brother.
I'm sorry, it's scared. It's a small. Well, it's not a small animal. It's a big animal,
It's
but
a
still,
large animal.
it's a pupper.
It is a pupper.
It is a grumpy pupper, but it's a pupper.
Oh.
This is why Becca wouldn't do well in the wild. She'd get eaten.
No, I would
Yeah.
too.
Potentially eaten.
All right, Felix, it is your turn. What would you like to do? Oh, wait, no, it's not. I'm sorry. It's the beast's turn. I forgot they had a turn. Okay.
Oh no!
Never mind. All right. So both of them are gonna. I think it's simpler, like how Justin does it, where the beasts take their turn at the same time. So I don't have a bunch of different people going at different times. So I think they are going to attack as well. So let's see. So my jackalweres are going to use a special tactic. The jackalwere has advantage on an attack roll against a creature if at least one of the jackalwere's allies is within 5 feet of the creature and the ally isn't incapacitated. So my friend over here, the jackalwere who hasn't been hurt yet, he saw what y'all were doing to his friend, and he is going to actually. Okay, yes. The one, no, I think it's the one who no, it's the other one. So yeah, the one who saw what you did to his friend is going to slash at Dashing. He's going to attack Dashing because Dashing is who is closest to him. So they are going to roll.
Thank God it's him and not me.
Hey now, brother.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll a nice D20 there. See what happens for that one. Ooh, he rolled a 17.
No!
Well, let me see what Dashing's AC is, because that did make
Probably not more than that.
Oh my gosh, you guys! Dashing's armor is 17. So like with it hits, but like it just hits. It just hits. Dashing's
That's
you know.
intense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And
Never mind, it's not my
he
fault.
has some armor on. He has some armor on that and he's got let's see. I have
Is he
like
a fighter?
yes, he is a fighter level 3. So 2 + 2, so 4. So he hits Dashing for 4 piercing damage.
No.
Let me see if Dashing has anything to like get away from that. I want to see if he's got any extra thing. Nope, I don't think so. So yeah, he loses 4 hit points.
So did I just like make the thing angry so that it hurt him more?
No, don't think
I mean,
of it that way.
They were attacking him anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so that was this guy. That was the one beast's turn. So the other one that you intimidated, Delaelia, he's never met you before, so he is going to kind of try and shake off that intimidation, and he's not going to attack you, but he just steps forward and he looks very intently at you. Roll me a wisdom saving throw. Do you have any resistance to magical slumber?
No.
Okay. So the jackalwere, Delaelia, it fixes its gaze at you, and you see its bright yellow eyes, and all of a sudden you feel yourself starting to slip into unconsciousness, and you don't take any damage, but all your friends see is Delaelia runs forward with her torch raised and tells the beast to back off, and it does, but then it just takes a step forward and it looks at her very intently, and Delaelia falls to the ground.
She's like our one fighter.
Ah!
This is not good.
Wait a second.
I'm small.
Trained. When trained. Okay, it's
no
fine.
damage. No
That's
damage.
fair.
And you're just unconscious right now. Falling unconscious for at least 10 minutes. We go back to the top of the order, and it's Dashing.
Wait, I haven't gone.
Oh, sorry, it's Felix's turn. Sorry, Felix. Felix, Delaelia just fell to the ground, torch in hand. What do you do?
Felix jumps off of Ramsey and draws his sword and shield, and he's going to run over to Delaelia and try and wake her up. Like, he's just gonna kind of pat her on the cheek, like, hey.
And you, Delaelia, you're still for a moment, and then she starts to blearily wake up from her magical slumber. So you can assume from this encounter that so long as someone is there to wake that person up, they will be alive.
Oh, thank
So
God.
You're a little out of it, because basically you just fainted, Delaelia, but you are awake.
Mm-hmm.
But you are prone. I will say that you're laying on the ground, so you are prone. Okay.
There's a jackalwere next to you guys. I'm just gonna remind you. Yo.
I know.
So now we go back to the top of the order, which is Dashing. Dashing is angry. He was just attacked by the jackalwere to his left, and he yells again. He goes, "Roar!" He rolls an 8. So Dashing takes his sword and he swings again at the other jackalwere, and he just misses. And you can see, if you're watching, he seems out of it. He's not using proper form. He's angry. He doesn't seem to be using best judgment. He's just swinging angrily at these two beasts rather haphazardly. So Dashing is angry. He's just missed twice. He's very, very angry. So he's going to use his action surge to take one additional action on top of his regular action once per short or long rest.
Oh my God!
He is pissed,
Struggling.
and he throws himself forward, swinging violently at the monster, but he misses again because his head is not in the game. He's being far too emotional right now, and he's not using proper form or technique. He's lost his cool. Mm-hmm. And he puts himself closer to the beast. Now it is your turn again, Princess Theia.
Hey guys, what do we do?
Stay back.
Well, but it's gonna hurt my brother, and like
Hit it with your thing again.
Yeah, do the thing.
Can I do that thing again?
We both just wiggle our fingers at her.
Can I do that thing again?
Yes,
I believe in you, Theia. I believe in
Okay.
you.
Do it.
I'm doing that thing again. So hold on, wait, but this time I'm going to select where those things are going. So let's see. The one closest to him, I think I'm gonna aim it. That one hasn't been hit yet, has it?
Correct, it has not been hit yet.
Okay, so I'm gonna aim all of my force at it and do my magic missile again. Dashing, look out! And then I'm just gonna point my hands at him and muster up all of the thing that I just did and try and push that thing back from him, because I don't want him to die. He's being stupid.
Awesome. But before I forget, roll a d20 for me.
Oh God. It's a 12.
Okay, then you're good. As long as it's not a 1, you're good. I can only give you a wild magic surge after you've attacked if you roll a 1 on your d20 roll. So
Okay.
So you extend your hands, Princess Theia, right for the monster by your brother, and you hit it 3 times. And it gets pushed back just a little bit. So that is 8 points of damage total. And Dashing actually turns and he looks over his shoulder to see what the source of that sudden burst of energy was from. So he turns a little bit over his shoulder to see who's behind him, and he catches your eye, Theia. He sees you standing there, and he catches your eye, and that is going to be your turn. Delaelia, what do you do with your turn? You are currently prone.
I get up.
Okay.
If it doesn't take too much of an action, I put my hand on Felix's shoulder and say, "Thank you, friend." And then I see the jackalwere looking at Theia, and I stand between her and it and wave the torch and try to be intimidating again, and I'm, "Get back! Go on!"
So you stand in between the jackalwere and the princess, and it backs off a little bit because it's seen that you've already woken up from its gaze, so it's currently not going to mess with you, Delaelia. But it is the beast's turn. So I am going to.
Oh God.
Let's see.
Is he still looking at me? Is Dashing still distracted?
He is still looking towards you, Theia.
He's being so dumb for somebody who's so good at fighting.
Or is this just what we've heard?
So I'm gonna have the beast that backed away from Delaelia turn its attention to dashing.
Oh
no! It's going to, let's see, what is it going to do? It's gonna try to attack him. Let's see. It's just gonna try to bite him. It's just gonna try to bite him. So let's see what he rolls. And he gets to roll with advantage because his friend is close by. So I'm just gonna roll twice. One. There's a 4. Well, it's good that he had advantage. And another 4. Ooh, okay. So even though he had advantage.
I thought you said jackal goo for a minute, and I was concerned.
Nope.
So this jackalwere that you intimidated Theia, he tries to bite at dashing, but he's still just a little bit. He's not like technically like afraid. As by D&D terms, he's not, cowering in fear, but he's a little off his game. So he bites out at dashing, but it's less an actual attack and more so just a gesture of like, don't mess with me, I'm still dangerous. But he doesn't make any contact with dashing. The other one is going to, I think the other one's just going to try to attack him as well. So let me roll 2 more d20s because they both get advantage because their friends are around.
No.
And the second one does
like 400 though. It's fine.
Well, his AC is 17, and this guy rolled a 15. Let me see. He gets +4 to hit. So that one does hit dashing. So 1d4 plus 2. It is 4. It is 4. So that's 6 points for dashing.
Oh my god.
6 points for the prince.
No.
Okay. So
I am concerned.
So dashing is distracted. His head is turned, and he sees you, Theia. And as his head is turned away, the jackalwere reaches out and bites at him, and he gets a good bite around Dashing's left arm, and he sinks his teeth into Dashing's left arm, and it does make contact with the skin, and Dashing gives a cry of pain, a little as he is grabbed by the monster. And I'm gonna say the monster now has him grappled in his jaw because he got his teeth in there. So that is the end of the beast's turn, which means that it is now Felix's turn.
So Felix is going to go to the other jackalwere that's not grappling with the prince. That's gonna suck. But he is going to do a shield bash and try and push the jackalwere off so that Dashing doesn't get dogpiled. Whenever you attack and hit with your shield, you can choose to make them do an 8+ strength or dexterity plus proficiency constitution saving throw, or be stunned until the end of your next turn. The creature may make the save on his turn to break it early.
Okay. So I should just roll a d20 and then add my strength modifier for that jackal.
What is the what's it called? The thing that you're doing?
It's called shield bash. Because mine is mine is a 14. So I think it had to beat my strength. I think it's like
okay. That makes sense.
So I think you beat it.
Honestly, I feel like if you want to use that in the future, I feel like it makes sense just to make like a strength contest and have your strength versus, or like your strength roll versus their strength roll. So like just make it a strength contest. Okay, awesome. Yeah. So even with because I rolled twice for that jackalwere, I think. So Felix rolled a 19, which beats the jackalwere's strength. So yeah, Felix, you it doesn't do damage since he's immune to bludgeoning and slashing damage, but you do succeed in moving him. Does it say how far you move him, or just that you push him back?
It doesn't say.
Stunned. Oh, he's stunned. That's what it said, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have described for me how Felix does this, because I think this is very fun. Because he's so little.
Well, yeah, I know. I think he's just gonna just go for it and just kind of run straight into the jackalwere's head with his shield. Just full on ran right into him.
This is a badass.
He took a note from Ramsey. Just charge. Head first, go for it.
Ramsey, can Ramsey help?
He could in theory, but
Yeah,
Sorry.
he doesn't have to. Rebecca has control over Ramsey, so you decide when he steps in or not, but he doesn't have to. I can understand how he would be afraid of 2 giant jackalweres who probably would see him as a tasty snack.
Yeah, no, this is one situation. This is the type of situation where Ramsey would be more than happy to sit out.
Uh-huh. Yeah, those guys would eat him.
They would.
Yeah.
So Felix, you rush forward with your shield and you just boing right into the jackalwere's head. And it's like in the cartoons where he sees like little birdies like flying around his head, and he is just stunned. He was not expecting you to do that. This guy's been taking a beating.
As he should. Trying to hurt my brother.
Okay, so it's Dashing's turn. I think he's gonna try to break free from this wolf, this jackalwere. Ooh, and he rolled a 19, so he does. So Dashing is pretty strong. And so he rips himself. That's his action. Dashing rips his arm out of the beast's jaws, and he looks at it angrily, ready to strike again the next turn. Princess Theia, it is your turn again.
God. So I'm gonna say, okay, so this dress that Mavry put me in, I told you I make adjustments, so I'm gonna take out the laces on the sides. I'm wearing pants underneath so that I now have like a little like a tunic with like slits down the sides.
Yeah.
So I have legs. And I'm gonna run over to where Delaelia is. I'm gonna say, how can we help him?
They are not. The last one anyway was basically immune to my weapons. Their hides cannot be pierced.
And I'll remind you again, you don't necessarily have to fight. Like if there's any other thing that you think Princess Theia would do, it's just like it's choose your own adventure. So I never want you guys to feel like you have to be locked into like, oh, I'm supposed to attack now. So
I know, it's just like I want to get him away from those things because he's being stupid and he's gonna get himself killed. Can I call for help? Like, is there somebody who can help us? Like, where'd Sabine and
we left them at the castle.
Help! Guards! Can I do like a perception check and see if there's anything that I can...
Yeah, you can do a perception check. So you rolled an 11. Let me see what that is in the chat.
It says 14.
Awesome. Yeah, so with a 14, Theia, you look around you to see what is at your disposal, and your eyes fall to the guards, to the soldiers lying on the ground, and you see the soldier closest to you. You notice that you don't see any blood on him. He's just laying on the ground.
They're asleep! They've been charmed to sleep! Guys, they're just asleep! Wake them up!
Oh!
Oh!
So actually, since you've moved as far as you can't walk over to wake him up yet, but you on your next turn, you can try to wake him up. It is Delalia's turn.
I'm gonna go try to punch this one. I'm gonna do some hand-to-hand with this bad boy.
Okay.
My goal is to knock him down so I can tie him up. But yeah, that's my plan.
Awesome.
I'm gonna go attack him with hands.
For the listeners at home, Kelsey's cat is being really cute right now.
It's
She's
just
all
this tail.
All right, so Delaelia, make me an unarmed attack.
Oh,
he is stunned, so I feel like you have advantage because he's currently stunned.
So he's stunned. What does that mean?
A stunned creature is incapacitated, can't move, and can't speak, only falteringly. The creature automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage.
Perfect. Then I'm gonna try to tie this bitch up. So,
okay.
Sorry, that was not nice. Okay, so I sneak up behind it. I'm doing it in like a fighter stance. Like I look like I'm in Tekken Tag, you know, like I'm like going up to it, and I've got the rope around. And I look really badass. So I
Important to know.
Yeah, know that. I'm doing it for the audience, but you can't see it. So I tie one hand, I tie the other, and then I tie the other hand to it. And then I politely knock it down on its belly and tie its feet, and then tie its feet and hands together in the back. So that it can't get away. Hogtied, we're hogtied.
Yes.
We're jackalwere tied.
Or jackalwere tied. So the one that you two have beaten up on together, is currently grappled. He is jackalwere tied, so he cannot attack on his next turn. He can only try to get out of his binding.
It looks like ropes are a DC 17 strength check.
But he rolled a 5, and even with his strength bonuses, that's not gonna beat DC 17. So yeah, the beast that you've just grappled, he's struggling, he's pulling, he's fighting at the air, but he is not strong enough to break free of the ropes. His friend, okay, he is a puppy. So his friend over here, so Dashing is ready to attack this other jackalwere. And as Dashing looks at it angrily, this jackalwere is going to fix its eyes on Dashing. So Dashing is going to have to make a
Would you please make a wisdom saving throw?
Very polite jackalwere.
Okay. Would you please make a wisdom saving throw, sir? That would be very wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Lux is on. Oh no! Oh no!
Dashing is striking out.
Oh
Dashing.
no!
Listeners,
I'm so
Dashing rolled
upset
a.
I cannot speak.
What happened? What did you say, Lydia?
I'm so upset. I don't even have anything to say other than I am upset.
Dashing rolled a critical failure, a natural 1, and in the world of D&D, when you roll a nat 1, bad things gonna happen. So my friends, as the wolf fixes its gaze on Dashing, almost immediately you see him drop his sword and crumple to the ground. So Dashing is now unconscious and prone next to this beast. And because I'm gonna say the beast also gets an action. It gets an action. The beast he gets a free action. He's not going to attack, but he is going to take his maw and chomp down on Dashing's arm.
I am going to use shield defense, which is a reaction I can do whenever someone within 5 feet of me, who is not me, is being attacked. I can jump in to block something or defend them with my shield. And that means that if he is going to do a roll that's going to cause damage or anything, he is now at a disadvantage.
So you're close, but he's about 10 feet away from you, so you're not quite close enough to do that. I'm sorry, it's really cool, but I want to honor
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. You're fine.
So Felix has that instinct to like try and reach out, but then I think he realizes like the moment afterwards, like you just said, I'm not close enough. And so the jackalwere just grabs Dashing in its jaw. It's gonna start pulling him towards the woods. Felix, it is your turn.
Okay. So Felix is gonna give chase. Would I be able to catch up to him?
Are you dashing?
Yes.
Are you dashing? Okay.
I'm dashing towards Dashing.
You're dashing towards Dashing? Beautiful. Okay, so yeah, Felix, that allows you to move. So Felix takes off after them. Felix is right on their heels. Little Felix with his tiny little legs. He's right on the heels of the big old jackalwere who's carrying Dashing.
Delaelia, help! Short legs!
So Felix takes after the jackalwere that has Dashing in its jaws. Before we go back, and Dashing is unconscious. So Theia, you see Dashing get grabbed and dragged towards the forest. But before you can do anything, a voice calls out from behind you, Theia! You turn around and you see Duke Roger on a horse. It looks like he must have gone to the stable, grabbed a horse, and followed after you. And he's surveying the scene in front of him, and he sees you, and he's just looking at you like he doesn't understand, and he says, "Come back!"
No, they've got Dashing! Go help him, please, help him!
And the Duke looks towards the tree line, and he sees the jackalwere that is starting to take Dashing away.
I suddenly realized I should have called over my goat. My goat runs faster than me.
Duke Roger is not wearing any armor or anything. He's just like,
oh shit,
in his morning clothes, because it is morning.
Did I just get my brother and my uncle killed?
No one is dead yet. So he looks towards Dashing and the jackalwere running off towards the forest. And he just calls back to you like come back, like don't, what are you doing, get out. And it is your turn, Theia. What do you do?
So is he not going after Dashing?
Well, his turn was like arriving, basically. Like he just rode in, so he's technically not in the turn order yet, but he is here now.
Okay. Well, I know that the guards are asleep. I mean, I think they are asleep. So I'm gonna ignore my uncle. Sorry, dude. And I'm gonna grab one of those guards and shake them and try and send them after Dashing.
Cool. So you run over to the closest guard and you give him a shake, and he kind of blearily starts to wake up, and he looks around and is like, what's going on?
The beast has Dashing. Go protect your prince.
What? The beast? What? Oh no, man. No. And he sits up and he looks around. He says, "No way, man." And he starts to run away. He just starts to run away.
Okay. Then I guess it's up to me. Can I still do a spell?
Let's see. I'll say you. So you moved to him. You shook him. I'll say that's a free action because we allowed that earlier, right? Did we allow that earlier? The free action, because Felix was able to wake you up. Was that his full turn, or?
Yeah, that was my full turn.
Okay, so
I knelt down. And...
That's right. So since that was his full turn earlier, I'm going to honor that
getting
and say
back
that was
up
your
would
full
be another
turn.
thing.
So that was your full turn for that, Theia. But hey, good try. Good try. No, you're doing good. You guys are all doing a really good job. I'm proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
Delaelia, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
So I'm going to run after them so I can get to them.
Like, he is actively running, and so whatever you're doing it while you're running towards them.
Okay.
So you're able to run up to them, but you're still running as you do whatever action you're gonna do.
And does Dashing just look like he's asleep?
Yeah, he still looks like he's unconscious.
I'm going to jump on the jackalwere's back.
And now a word from our non-sponsor.
Do you have any food allergies?
Me?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh. Well, it's just I've been eating these snacks by Enjoy Life, and they're allergy friendly. These are super allergy friendly, and they're made in a factory specifically designed to not cause allergic reactions to stuff.
That's cool.
But I love it. And I just realized when I got back in here with my armful of snacks that I was like, oh, all of this is Enjoy Life stuff. So
Nice.
another non-sponsor.
You're not really playing D&D unless you're enjoying a good snack. So why not enjoy life? Hello. I'd like to take a quick break to thank you, the listener, for pressing play. And an extra big thank you to those who've shared the podcast or left us reviews. This guy knows us well, writes, "This is a super well-constructed podcast with great storytelling, music, and atmosphere. Keep up the great work." Aw, thank you, this guy knows as well. That is actually our friend of the podcast, Ben Oksher, who actually made the original artwork that we have used as our podcast logo. He also shared the podcast on social media, so we named a character after you, Ben. Just wait. Speaking of art, I want to give a really, really extra big thank you to Rebecca Munoz, who drew the beautiful artwork we shared online earlier this week, and to Justin Barron, who colored that artwork. Rebecca, as you know, is one of our players, and Justin is a fantastic DM. He's the person who taught me how to play D&D. If you hear me mention a Justin, that's who I'm talking about. If you're looking to commission some artwork, contact Rebecca at Rebecca Munoz Smith on Instagram. All right, let's get back to the story.
So where we left off, the
The
beast.
jackalwere. I'm going to jump on the jackalwere's back.
Okay. Cool. Let's roll dexterity. What do you actually wait first? Tell me what you're trying to do first.
Okay. So I want to tackle it. And knock it down. That's my goal.
Are you trying to grapple it, or I'm trying to think of
Yeah, so my attempt is to, I would say that I'm probably trying to do a strength check against it. Like I'm trying to outstrength it to get it prone.
Okay. So first,
I would say my goal being to grapple it would be unrealistic. So my goal to get it down that's it.
Okay. So first make a dexterity check for me just to see if you can jump onto its back. Okay. 17.
We could do a dexterity contest.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. I like that. I add +2 to his dex. So 15,
that's okay.
16.
I got a 17.
Oh, you got a
So I
17.
won.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you describe it for me, Delaelia.
Okay. So in that case, if that was a dexterity check, then I don't just tackle him. I hit him with I'm running behind him, and with the force of my body, I spring and I grab around his neck and put him down. So it's like a very rugby move. And I get him down.
But because the dexterity check was to get on him, so you got onto him. Make me a strength check to see if you can get him down. Because if you can't get him down, you're currently riding the jackalwere.
Okay.
Oh no!
So I rolled a 2, which was a 4.
Oh no!
So I'm riding this jackalwere.
Yeah, so Delaelia, you said, you leap using the force of your body to grab on to this great beast. And maybe you like wrap around. What do you think? Are you wrapping around his neck, or are you holding onto the fur?
Yeah, on his neck.
And you attempt to throw him down to the ground, but you realize, oh, this thing's a lot stronger than you thought it was. And now you're
trying to move my body, and I just weigh 115 pounds, so it's not really happening.
And you wave like a flag in the wind. All right, so that was.
I'm just imagining this. I'm sorry, I'm just imagining this because this big scary jackalwere, he's got a prince in his mouth. There's an elf riding on top of him and a gnome chasing after them shortly behind. Like, this, what a sight this is. Like,
yeah, it's a whole thing.
He's not restrained, but he might be at disadvantage if he tries to do some other things, because he's got a person on his back and a person in his mouth. So first, I wanna see if I can get my other wolf out of the binding. Oh! Ooh, okay. So I just rolled a nat 20.
So we got out.
So the wolf that was bound by Delaelia's expert binding skills, he sees his friend running away without him, and I think that mentally that just gives him the impetus to say, like, no, don't leave me behind in his mind, for however jackalweres think. And so he just and he bursts free of his binding. That is his turn. He doesn't do anything else. And then the other one, he's got dashing in his mouth and you in his back. He is going to keep running. So he keeps running into the forest. He goes past the tree line. So he is now, for the moment, out of sight of Felix, out of sight of Princess Theia and Duke Roger, and the beast is running into the woods with Delaelia on his back. He's not trying to do anything else but just like move into the woods. And he has successfully done that because he was pretty close anyway. So even with like a little bit of less speed, he's still able to get past the tree line into the woods. So that is the beast's turn. Felix, it is your turn.
Would Felix hear the other wolf breaking free?
Okay, I think that as Felix is running, he can sense some kind of movement behind him. He senses something. Does he turn to look, or does he keep going after dashing into Delaelia?
He's going to turn to look because Theia's the only one back there.
He stops his chase to look back, and yes, he does see that beast has broken free and it's looking angry.
Okay, Felix, can I have him run back as far as he can to get between Theia and the wolf, if he can?
Yeah, he can definitely run back to try and get between Theia and the beast.
Okay, because it's one of those things where it's like, do I help Delaelia, do I help Theia? And he's like, Delaelia can probably handle herself. She's good. Like, She's on his back. She's good.
She seems in control of the situation.
Seems in control of the situation. I'm gonna go help the princess. So I'm just gonna have Felix get between them, and I think I'm gonna do. And do I still have an action, or was that whole movement kind of?
That was your movement. You still have an action.
Okay. I'm gonna try shield bash.
Okay.
And try to knock it down again.
What did we do last
so
time?
That's a strength check between the two of them. Oh, madre de Dios.
Oh no.
That's an 8 on my part. What'd you roll?
I rolled a 16.
Oh,
without
dear
even
God.
adding anything.
That didn't work. So he missed.
Describe for me what happens, Felix. Because this is the same one you've tried to bash before. So what do you think happens?
Felix is gonna he's gonna run in between Theia and the wolf, and he's gonna kind of step forward and try to like bash it like in the face, just kind of do a side swipe. Not so much for like front on like he did before, because he doesn't have as much run this time, so he's just gonna try and hit it. And so, maybe it glanced, but it didn't do anything. Like he didn't have enough swing, so he kind of just booped it more than anything.
It's like a cartoon where it like boops the end of the animal's nose, and it just looks really annoyed, really offended.
And then I would also like to make the request: can Ramsey join in the fight?
Yeah,
he can join in the fight.
Yeah, we can add him into the initiative. Let's just have Ramsey be part of your turn. So yeah, that was what Felix did. What does Ramsey do?
So Ramsey was still kind of back by the entrance, so I think he's just gonna run up and kind of stand next to Theia, and because I think that's about as far as he can go. So yeah, because that's about from like where the uncle is to Theia, that's about 40 feet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just gonna run up to Theia and kind of, just kind of paw at the ground angrily with his horns down, just kind of like, "Don't you come over here!" Like,
Aww, I love that.
Thanks, Ramsey. I appreciate
kind of angrily bleats, intimidatingly. He's just like, "Ma."
You said it with such sassy.
Awesome. So Ramsey moves to be next to Theia, and I'm going to throw Duke Roger in this turn. Since dashing doesn't really have a turn anymore, we're going to have the Duke. Take his turn. So the Theia and Theia, you feel you feel the ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum of the horse's hooves as Duke Roger rides up to you, and he puts himself between you and just like Ramsey came first, ba-doop, 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 and then and then after Ramsey you hear ba-dum, 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 and the big horse comes around.
Aww.
And Duke Roger,
We got your back.
He's got like a sword. I think someone brought him a sword, but he was like, "Get me my sword!" And someone brought him a sword. I don't know if it's his sword, but it's a sword. And he says, "Theia, go back to the palace. I have this one." I don't know if that was his voice. "Theia, go back to the palace. I have this under control. Get out of here."
No, we have to help Dashing. He's in the woods. Take me with you. Let's go. Come on.
And he doesn't seem to be like listening to you too hard, because he's really focused in on this like immediate wolf problem. I think when he came in, he was just kind of like a little overwhelmed by everything he was seeing, and he's going for the immediate threat, which he senses as this wolf and this jackalwere in front of you. Yeah. So he moves close enough to that jackalwere to take a swing at it.
Swords don't work on it. You can't slash it or pierce it. You have to like hit it with blunt force.
And as you say that, oh wow, Duke Roger.
That's my uncle.
Oh man.
Yes, Daddy.
He rolled
I know. I'm
20.
like, ooh.
This is why I like him.
So
He's
as
real
you,
bad.
oh gosh, okay. So as you call out to
Creative
him,
dad.
what?
He might be Thea's real dad.
I'd be cool with that.
Because her actual dad is awful.
Yeah, he sucks. It's fine.
But he's got his sword, and he is gonna swing it at the jackalwere. And because he rolled a 20, we know that he can't do any piercing damage. But I'm gonna say he swings at it, and it hits that thing right upside the head. And
Double hit.
like he just pops it in the head, and it's almost like you hear like the little like when a dog, and it doesn't take damage, but it definitely turns its attention to the Duke. Not technically stunned, but definitely caught off guard by the force by which Duke Roger was able to smack it in the head. So he is engaged in combat. I'm going to say that basically what happened from that is he is engaged in combat with this jackalwere now. And that is his turn. So Princess Theia, your uncle is engaged in combat with this jackalwere. Delaelia and Dashing are disappeared into the forest, and you've got a goat next to you. What do you do?
Can I ride this goat?
I don't think you can because you're bigger than Felix. It's a goat, so it's like if you, Lydia, the person, tried to ride a goat.
How far away are the woods?
They're about 35 feet away from where you are.
Can I reach those?
Yeah, your base speed is 30, so you could actually, if you dash, Theia, so dashing in D&D, you go twice your regular distance, right? But it takes up your whole turn. So you could dash into the woods and be into the woods. Like, that would help you catch up faster if that's what your goal is.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Like, I think Duke Roger has got this. Okay, then I'm gonna dash to the woods.
Will our heroes catch up to the jackalwere and save Prince Dashing? Or will they find even greater dangers lurking in the forest? Find out next time on Spellbound. Songs in this episode include Spellbound by Vindsvept of bandcamp.com. All other music in this episode belongs to our favorite composer, Alexander Nakarada. Check him out on Serpent Sound Studios. All sound effects are from zapsplat.com.
All right, I don't have a goat, but I have a deer.
That works. I love it. It's so little. It's like a little fun.
Oh, it looks like a goat from far away, you know.
Yeah.